Who has more weapons? Charles Do Bronx Oliveira or General Grievous? Now, the question is far from an easy one. As we all know, we have Charles Oliveira, possibly the most diverse offensive attacker we have ever seen in the sport of MMA. But then on the other hand, we have General Grievous, who collects more lightsabers than anybody knows what to do with. And I'll tell you right now, his weapons don't just stop at the lightsabers. He's got many more. So the only way to figure out the answer to this question is we're going to list them out. All of Charles Oliveira's weapons, all of General Grievous's weapons, and we're going to see who has more, Do Bronx or General Grievous. Now, starting off with General Grievous, it's pretty obvious. We all know the big four. His 4 lightsabers he keeps in his cape. He's got one for each arm, one for each hand. The 4 lightsabers are pretty easy to identify as General Grievous's first 4 weapons in his arsenal. So with General Grievous already at 4, Charles Do Bronx, unfortunately, is already playing catch-up, but you'll see he has a lot of weapons himself, starting with number 1, his unbelievable submission game. Charles Oliveira has the most submissions in UFC history. I think it's pretty easy to say this is one of his weapons. We have rear naked chokes, we have guillotines, we have all of the above, we have calf slicers, we have everything. Charles Oliveira, if he has one bona fide weapon, it is his submission games, because many would argue, and I'd say rightfully so, that he is the greatest submission artist in the history of the UFC. So weapon number 1 for Charles Do Bronx, his submission game. Now, weapon number 2 for Charles Do Bronx Oliveira, it's his knockout power. Guys, this is not something we saw as a legitimate weapon for Charles Oliveira early in his career, but nowadays I think we have to. I mean, he knocked down and knocked out Michael Chandler. He knocked down Justin Gaethje and could have got a TKO if he wanted to. This guy knocked down Beneil Dariush like it was nothing. He knocked down Michael Chandler again. This guy has KO power. He has a lot of power in his hands, whether you like it or not. Justin Gaethje has gone on record and say he doesn't know if he's ever fought somebody who hits harder than Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. And think about all the great names that Justin Gaethje has fought. So weapon number 2 for Charles Oliveira, pretty easy to identify once again. It's his knockout power in his hands. Weapon number 3 for Charles Oliveira, we got the clinch. We all know about his Muay Thai clinch game. It's phenomenal. He does it against pretty much every fighter he goes against. We've all seen Charles Oliveira back arched in that pose. We all know about it. Charles Oliveira's clinch game is some of the best we've ever seen. His Muay Thai striking is super clean. Weapon number 3 for Charles Oliveira is the clinch, and that brings us right into weapon number 4 to tie him up with General Grievous. We have his offensive wrestling. So if you're keeping count, General Grievous has lightsaber 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Charles Oliveira right now has knockout power, submissions, clinch game, and now he also has offensive wrestling. This is another one of those weapons that early in his career we didn't see a lot, but in fights like against Dustin Poirier, he was getting takedowns. Against Michael Chandler recently, he was getting a lot of takedowns with his offensive wrestling against Michael Chandler, who's supposedly this great wrestler. So weapon number 4 for Charles Oliveira is his offensive wrestling. But General Grievous is not going to go down without a fight here. He has weapon number 5 in the bag, and this is one that a lot of people sleep on, but he has his blaster. People forget, man, General Grievous has a blaster that he uses in Revenge of the Sith. He's used it a couple times in Clone Wars as well, I think. I can't really remember. But yeah, General Grievous has a blaster. That is weapon number 5 for General Grievous. But you guys know, if you know one thing about Charles Oliveira, it's that he is not going to go down without a fight. Weapon number 5 for Charles Oliveira, and it's arguably the most powerful one. It's his aura. Charles Oliveira's 5th weapon is his aura, and that ties him up with General Grievous. They have 5 weapons apiece. General Grievous with 4 lightsabers and 1 blaster. Charles Oliveira with offensive wrestling, knockout power, clinch game, submissions, and aura. That's 5 and 5. They're equal on weapons right now. And while we're at it, talking about Charles Oliveira's aura, we might as well go right into his 6th weapon. And this is another one of his most powerful weapons. It's his plot armor. Charles Oliveira has plot armor. We all know about Brazilian plot armor. We all love Charles Oliveira. This guy's getting pieced up in every single fight, man. Every single fight he's getting pieced up, but due to his plot armor, he always gets the job done. And so I got to go into General Grievous, man. He does not have plot armor. This guy's unbelievable strength. He has 4 lightsabers. He's supposed to be like the slayer of Jedis, but Obi-Wan beats him with a blaster? With a blaster? That's how General Grievous goes out? No plot armor for General Grievous. So that's minus a point for General Grievous, plus a point and a weapon for Charles Oliveira. Right now we're up 6-5 for Charles Oliveira in terms of weapons. But General Grievous is also not going to go down without a fight. His 6th weapon, his Electro Staff. People forget, man, General Grievous used the Electro Staff to break the window and escape. You know what I'm talking about. General Grievous, his guards have those purple staffs. I forget what they're called. Somebody look it up on Wikipedia for me. He's got that staff. That makes him tied up with Charles Oliveira. They got 6 weapons apiece. And while we're talking about him escaping, General Grievous' 7th weapon is his fleeing ability. Some people call him a wimp. They say he ducks fights, but you got to have a high IQ battle knowledge. You got to have a lot of battle knowledge. That's what General Grievous does. That's why they call him the General. This guy knows when to take a fight and when not to take a fight. He has no problem with dipping, getting out of there, ducking, fleeing the fight, whatever you want to call it. That's his 7th ability. And while we're at it, we'll get into General Grievous's 8th and final weapon, and that is none other than his TSMU E6 wheel bike. Now, if you know, Revenge of the Sith, when he was fleeing Obi-Wan, this is arguably the most awesome, electrifying, cool vehicle we have ever seen in fiction or nonfiction. There is no vehicle on Earth more cool than this vehicle that Grievous used, and I can't think of a single vehicle in all of fiction that is cooler than the TSMU E6 wheel bike. I'm all over the Jaguar F-Type. That's my favorite car. I love the Lamborghini Aventador. I love like the C2 Corvette. But none of them are touching the TSMU E6 wheel bike that General Grievous got off on. And it has blasters. It has running and rolling ability. It could run over people. It's definitely a weapon. So General Grievous finishes off with 8 weapons. And I don't know if Charles Do Bronx has enough to overcome that. But we're not done with Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. His 7th weapon is blonde hair. We all know about blonde Oliveira, our favorite mythical fighter. Charles Oliveira, once he dyed his hair blonde, once he had his child, he became a different animal. I'm an animal, hyena. That's what Charles Oliveira was saying. SD Kid, that was the corniest thing I've ever said in my life, but we'll let it fly. We're keeping it in the video. Charles Oliveira's blonde hair, I'm convinced, is a weapon. There is correlation there, and I am going to say it is causation as well. So, 7th weapon for Charles Oliveira, his blonde hair. And his 8th weapon is his recovery ability. People forget, man. Charles Oliveira has the best and worst chin in UFC history. I say worst because he gets dropped like every single fight, but I also say best because of his ability to recover. With the exception of the Ilia Topuria KO, which obviously is an exception because it's Ilia Topuria, the greatest athlete of all time. Charles Oliveira always gets rocked, but he always gets up. Dustin Poirier knocked him down 2-3 times. He got up, won the fight. Justin Gaethje knocked him down twice. He got up both times, won the fight. This guy was on the verge of extinction versus Michael Chandler. He got up, won the fight. This is just a theme with Charles Oliveira. This is the theme. He got knocked down by Makhachev, and he didn't go out cold. We'll give Charles Oliveira credit for that. Let's go. His 8th ability, his recovery ability, and that means we're tied up 8-8 in abilities. Not abilities, I'm sorry, weapons. So, we'll see who wins. So, General Grievous and Charles Oliveira are tied with 8 weapons apiece. So, there's going to be one winner here. And it is Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. His 9th weapon is being illuminated by God. We've all seen the clip, him leaving the tunnel, being all excited after he won the Justin Gaethje fight, I believe. He said he was illuminated by God. If that's not a weapon, I don't know what is. So if you're keeping track, Charles Do Bronx Oliveira has more weapons than General Grievous. We all know General Grievous has 4 lightsabers. He has a blaster. He has an electro staff when he needs one. He has a KSMU E6 wheel bike. But that's not enough because Charles Oliveira has submission games. He has knockout power. He has offensive wrestling. He has blonde hair. He's illuminated by God. He has aura. He has plot armor, recovery ability. Charles Oliveira has more weapons than General Grievous. People like to talk about General Grievous being this all-time weapon collector. Nobody has more lightsabers, more weapons than General Grievous, but I think Charles Oliveira has more weapons. So you put them in the cage against each other. I got Charles Oliveira, 3rd round submission. I mean, General Grievous just has too many limbs, too many appendages being flying out there. Charles Oliveira is going to snatch one of them up, put him in an armbar. He's got 4 arms to choose from. Charles Oliveira is going to submit General Grievous in the 3rd round. I think General Grievous will get 1 or 2 knockdowns in round 1, but we all know Charles Oliveira has his recovery ability, and I think this just brings us to the conclusion. Charles Oliveira has more weapons than General Grievous. So that about does it. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you are still here watching this video, you clearly enjoyed it. So do me a favor, subscribe, like the video. I promise you'll like my videos. I'm going to be coming out a lot with a lot of videos in the big 2026. So hope you guys come for the ride. Going to be doing a lot of MMA stuff, other sports stuff as well. And we'll combine it with some fun culture and other forms of media as well, like we do with Star Wars here. So if you're still watching, thank you for watching. Consider staying with me. Peace.